this above you, see what is around you that you can leverage on. We got it? Awesome. Thank you so much, Akil. Disclaimer here, we do this at every event. We're all adults. We're all responsible. You're going to meet new people. You're going to hear a lot of new information. Do your own, be responsible. Do your own due diligence. Just like when you buy a property, you got to research the property, research everyone you're working with. Same thing here. That's it. So as an ASRIA member, we have national benefits through the national RIA. So we're the only licensed RIA in the state of Arizona. So with that comes national benefits. Mainly, I'd like to point out here, Home Depot. We're partners with Home Depot. So if you have an ASRIA membership and you have your Home Depot Pro account set up, which is free, you have put our ASRIA code in and it starts giving you 2% cash back tracking, 20% off all your paints and liquids, cabinets, appliance discounts. So when you're flipping houses, renting property, you're just saving money all the way through. From there, more importantly, wealth is a team sport, which you're going to learn in this game today. We have vetted real estate service providers for you to access as a member. All of your real estate team here, pretty much title companies, are all investor friendly. Title companies, hard money lenders, insurance companies, pest control, attorneys, IRA companies, you name it. Anything you need for your real estate business is here at ASRIA. They're vetted. They've been with us for years. Members have not complained about them. If they have, they would not be here. So at least tap into them, ask them questions. They're always at the meetings. They're always in our newsletter, sharing new information about what's going on that month. So leverage that for you to use. So from there, I always like to say our main meeting where all the investors come together is the second Monday of the month. It's in North Scottsdale at venue 8600. We always have a market update. So this month will be Tina Tambor of the Cromford Report. We do trade show. All our business associates will be there with their booths, so you can network with other members and the business associates. And then we always have a main education panel, which is Isabel Giarno from Residential Assisted Living, RAL. So she's going to show you how you can make $10,000 a month with one single family home through residential assisted living. I actually just went to her 3-day boot camp last week. Phenomenal. Her family's been with us for over a decade. But she took over from her father, and top notch. I was very impressed. Then she's going to do we do the same thing in Tucson that second Tuesday of the month, and she's going to be in Tucson as well. Then the fourth Tuesday of every month, we do the Phoenix Real Estate Club in this room. So throughout the month, you're going to go to a lot of subgroups. You're going to go to the main meeting. You're going to meet a lot of people, hear a lot of new information. We have more of a discussion and networking about everything going on the fourth Tuesday. ASRIA.org/calendar. Like I said, we have up to 15 events a month. So whatever world you're looking to get into, or if you're just trying to figure out what's out there, you can go to specific groups, fix and flip group, landlord group, the beginners group, cash flow, financial freedom through real estate, call-a-thon, you name it. We have something for you to check out. And most importantly, usually if you're in the newer side of things, or even if you're experienced and you just kind of don't know where you want to take this business, we have our free entrepreneurial assessment. Basically, it's going to help you understand if you should be more active investor or passive. We've through 20 years of helping investors, we kind of know how you think. We do know how you think. We know the questions you ask, so we compile this assessment so you could say, hey, I don't have the time, and it'll save you from going down that fix and flip course and that training and that all that effort and time if you just don't have the resources yet to be that active person. Maybe you should stick with landlording or lending or whatever, or notes or whatever it may be. So we'll help you determine active or passive and start getting you on some type of track to follow. So ASRIA.org/ESA. And then we have our beginners bundle, 16 hours or more of recorded trainings to help you understand the fundamentals of real estate investing. We notice a lot of people jump into big high-end programs and they don't even know how to comp a property. They don't know how to estimate repairs. They don't have an LLC. For $299, just get all the fundamental training, have a strong, solid foundation to build on top of. Most importantly, with Focus Law, our business associates, they have a discounted LLC for you to access. It's written by a real estate attorney. Our new online community, which you guys, I've kind of been telling you guys about. So we have forums and all these different topics. You guys could all network with each other online. Ask you questions. We have up to 2,000 members, so you're not going to see everybody in these meetings. So you can go online now 24/7, ask a question. Someone will pop in and answer a question. help you out, network, meet people online as well. It's really cool system. You're gonna have your own profile, your bio, your social media handles. So just connect, build relationships. That's what we're here for. Um, and it's new, so bear with us as we get it going. And I give my example. When it's new, it kind of looks dead, right? So you know how not servers, like when you go to Starbucks, they put a couple dollars in the tip jar just to make you think like everyone's tipping them, right? You didn't know that? Okay. So, oh, we got to teach you, buddy. Because if like back in the day, like even at our cash flow games, right, we'd put a sign-in sheet or give us your email if you want to know more about us. We would have to fill in our own emails on the first 3 or 4 slots, so everyone's like, all right, everyone else is doing now. You didn't know that? Hey, it's all marketing, man. So yeah, there you go. So same thing. You're going there. There's not going to be much activity, just a few posts. So I encourage all of you to create a post, start a post, answer a question. So when other members come in, they're like, "Ah, it's going." So, anyways, participate if you'd like. Membership's $249 a year. Here's all our benefits. It's a lot to talk about, but mainly get the education, get the market information, be around the right people, build your team. We have all that and more. So $249 a year. All right. So give us your feedback. If you ever want to give us any feedback about Ezria, we'd love to hear it so we could always be better. And that's it. That's all I got. We have Leo here, who has been our host for CashFlow101. I'll let him break down his story. Wouldn't want anyone else here besides Leo. He's the OG of Cashflow hosting. And you'll find out why. So take it off. It's all you.
Thank you very much. Howdy, I'm Leo Scott. I've been involved with the cash flow game and the Rich Dad organization. Got that one.
Oh, you got one?
You gave me.
Sorry, buddy. I didn't see it under that covering there. All right.
I don't know for sure that it's working, but I definitely have it on. So had enjoyed, got to find Robert's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, early on. And then once I found out that there was a game involved, had a switch around here for the viewers at home, apparently, that I was very happy to have the opportunity to move from it just being book learning into it being a simulation where you can actually transfer the ideas to actions, even if it is gamified. There's a real difference between just reading words and agreeing with them to do you take the actions that you said you agreed with? And that's what you get to practice here. The game itself is broken into the inner circle is the rat race, and the most important part, as far as I'm concerned, of the game is, and per Robert's idea of what that means, is passive income paying all your bills. And so you will make use of, each of you will get one of the white cards that have the numbers for the particular role you'll be playing in this round of the game. And you'll transfer that information from the card onto your sheet in the matching locations. Each of the different roles, the nurse has just under $2,000 worth of expenses and just over $1,000 worth of net net income to work with. And so if you're playing this character, everybody starts with zero passive income to start with. You will be going around the rat race, rolling a die to see how far you go. The different slices you end up with include opportunities that are your choice of a big deal or a small deal. The small deals take something between $0 and $5,000 to do the deal. The big deals start at $6,000 and go way up. So in general, you while you're learning stuff, I would recommend, if you don't have at least $10,000 of capital, to not get into the big deals yet. You either have to be ready to borrow more money or put together partnerships if your money is that low. The once you get the info from the card written onto your sheet, then your starting capital is whatever your monthly cash flow, the number in the middle, plus whatever your savings is what will go on your cash sheet. And then each time you go past a payday, you get to add whatever your current monthly cash flow is. Other side. So your monthly cash flow is what's left after you pay your bills. Uh, is the welcome. Glad you made it. And there's space, any table you'd like to jump in at. Okay, very good, very good. So Ashley is one of the players from my cash flow group that she and Ken and I run a meetup group that meets every Tuesday and Saturday to play cash flow and network among investors. And so that's available. I'll talk more of that at the end, but that's up on Meetup as Alpha Cash Flow if you want to do more gaming activities. The other cards that you can get as you go around are the market cards, are the ones that set the prices for assets that you've acquired through the opportunities, and that will be your decision point. Just like in the real world, you've got to decide whether you want to trade the cash flow you're getting, which is the primary goal. But like always, you have to balance that. Well, do I have the capital I need to get to the bigger deals? So there'll potentially be turnover that you'll have to make that choice when it comes up and says houses are selling for 110, that you'll have to make that pick of, well, do I want to sell it off or do I want to keep the cash flow? That's a piece of the practice. The last item that has a card are the doodads. If you land on doodad, you get to read that out loud. Is work on investing, and then people buy a boat. And Robert doesn't have any problems with people owning boats, but he does have problems of that being on the front end of what you do, so that you say, well, I'd like to invest, but I just don't have any money. Well, that's because you picked not to have any money. And so that is the little bit of sandpaper on your cheek to remind you that maybe you don't do these doodads, but there are things in everybody's life that you ought to think about. Because as an example, Robert and his former wife like fancy sports cars. And so they were looking at Maseratis that they'd each like. But as opposed to the norm, they went and found investment properties that pay, that have a positive cash flow equal to the payments that they needed for their fancy sports cars. They got their sports cars. Once it was paid off, they now still have a cash flowing asset that they're getting all of the cash flow and have their fancy sports cars. So that is the kind of mindset shift that this is part of the ideas that Robert has. So those are the basics of you'll roll dice, taking turns, going around, doing whatever the slice tells you, up until you get to the point of acquiring enough assets that give you passive income equal to or greater than whatever your character's expenses are. There's characters from janitors that have $1,000 worth of expenses to doctors that have $10,000 worth of expenses. So if you get one of those, you're going to have to work harder to accumulate more cash flow. Now you have more disposable income, uh, but I would strongly suggest that you think about there is a bank and they'll happily lend you money in units of $1,000, but they want 10% a payday in terms of the interest that they charge. So if you borrow $10,000, it's going to cost you $1,000. And that's just the interest every payday till you pay that off. And you have to pay the 10,000 separate from that interest payment. There are plenty of cards and opportunities that it's worth using that super hard money to acquire it, but you better have a plan and a strategy of how are you going to get out of that hole as part of making use of that money. Uh, uh, you also have, in addition to when you have a deal, you can look at it and say, nope, not for me, but you can then offer it to the table and see what kind of offers they would make for you to assign that deal to them. So that type of thing is available. And similarly, you can do partnerships in terms of effectively syndications of seeing whether you can get other investors' money into doing whatever you're up to. So the start with randomly select one of the white cards to record that info onto your sheet. And once you make that, yep. I'm sorry?
What is a syndication?
Just the fancy name for partnership.
Okay.
So you'll see that in the jargon of on a number of things like people buying 100 unit apartment houses. They'll talk about putting together a syndication to make that work, and it's just bringing a bunch of partners together. There can be some legal differences at that scale, but that's why you want to have the right lawyers as part of your team to make it so you cross all the T's and dot all the I's to make that legal as a syndication, but just grouping investors together. So just all the numbers go in all the spots. So if there's a number on that card, it should be written on your sheet. And the one that people often miss is the baby expense needs to go into the gray box for if you happen to, you don't start with any kids, but one of the things you can land on is is getting a kid. Luckily, after 3 kids, you figure it out and can't have any more. But till then, you potentially could gain that expense of having a kid. You don't start with any, but you record that number so you can know what to put in if you land on that. Mhm. So a piece of what Robert's after in this game is vocabulary of the rich. So balance sheets and the idea of income statements and that sort of stuff. This is a simplified form of that, but it's to get you into this is your report card as far as bankers are concerned, as opposed to they don't care whether you got an A in calculus. They care whether you've got more liabilities than you got income, and that's part of what this helps you capture. Uh, uh, and so once you get those numbers in, then the numbers you put onto the extra sheet that you can keep track of your cash on. Your starting cash is your monthly cash flow, the number in the middle of your sheet, what's left after you pay your bills, and whatever savings you started with. Those two numbers are what goes on your other sheet where you're keeping track of your cash. Um, the
So just to clarify, so if I have monthly cash flow, so it says starting balance plus savings,
Yep,
and then that's
that's
paycheck is
what.
right?
Yes,
I
and
see.
until you acquire something else
Uh-huh.
that will move those numbers around,
I see.
yes, that's you get that savings one time at the start. The each paycheck event will just be monthly cash flow. Will be what you'll get to add in to replenish your cash as you go around. The additional is whatever flipping you'll do will also get added to your cash, but and whatever you buy will decrease your cash. So that's what that sheet is helping you keep track of. So monthly cash flow plus savings. Plus. So it's
This value plus two. Yep, 520. So 520 plus 11.
uh, 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 so once you get that number in place, you uh, can go ahead and roll a die to see who gets the high number, and we'll just start with that person and then go around as far as the order of who gets to go first. There's no great advantage of going first or last to the setup. So whenever you're ready, roll a die, and here's your yes, your auditor.
Are we rolling all 4 dice?
No, you're rolling a die,
A die.
and that's all you're rolling inside of the rat race. Of it's sort of yes, you can have your own if you as far as and so the if you get out of the rat race, then you'll use the matching cheese to pick which dream the pink items you're trying for, because there's two ways to win. If you land on your dream and you have the money to buy it, you win. Or if you're not lucky in that direction, you can just buy enough of the green businesses to increase your cash flow $50,000. And yes, that's what the backside of your sheet is about once you get out onto the rat race of what you'll be up to once you get out of the rat race. You'll make use of that side of the sheet.
So we don't need this anymore.
Correct. Sometimes things get forgotten, so you can go back and look if you didn't get a number down. But yes, you should have everything you need. So yeah, effectively you're starting on the arrow. Okay, so that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in terms of what gets rolled. Go ahead and roll your die to see who gets the high number, to see who will start out rolling for. All right, so now you roll one die and move your rat, whatever color you'd like to be. Yeah, on the arrow is this way. All right, so you start with a payday. So you get to add your monthly cash flow, that same number you copied before, you get to add it again to your cash receipt, your record of how much cash you have.
I'm just using this number right here.
So yes, whatever you totaled up before, you're adding your monthly cash flow to that previous total. You are accumulating more money. When you buy something, you'll be subtracting what goes around. So it actually is you next. Well, am I right? No, I am backwards. Sorry. I was looking at the board upside down. Sorry. You are correct. Right. Right. They didn't violate that. No. So go ahead and read what it says.
Couldn't resist new painting by local artist. Cost me $200.
Okay. So on your cash sheet, subtract off $200. That's on the board.
Opportunity.
All right. So you can pick from small or big. Yeah. So go ahead and read it.
House for sale, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, low down payment. Pick up this 3-2 house. Owner, seller, unexpectedly moving out of town. Right person will do well. Use this yourself or sell to another player. 40% return on investment, or ROI.
Right.
Acronym for anyone who doesn't know that. May sell for $65,000 to $135,000. All right, so costs me $50,000. Down payment's $3,000. The mortgage is $47,000. The cash flow that'll add an extra $100.
Right. So that range that's listed on there, the 65 to 135, that's the range of buyer cards that are in the market pile. So that gives you a feel of where in the future, how much, if you want to use this as a flip. That cash flow is the net cash flow after all bills and the mortgage. And so that's the amount that you get to add as passive income if you choose to do it. The down pay is how much capital you have to come up with right now to acquire the property. And as you were saying, the ROI, return on investment, people throw that around. What ROI means is how much of your money, how much of that 3K is she going to get back every year? She's going to get 40% of that. And if you multiplied the net cash flow by 12 and then divided by the 3K, that's how they come up with the 40%. So it's a nice metric for you to compare how hard your money is working for you. It's not everything, because that has nothing to do for what you can flip it for. That's why those other numbers are there. So she's got to make a decision. Does she want to spend 3K? Hopefully she started with 3K. If she didn't, then her choices are she could borrow from the bank. If she borrowed all 3K, that would cost her $300 a month until she paid back that 3K. So she'd be negative until she could pay back the results. Or she could see if somebody wanted to pay her either a fee or a percentage or some kind of deal to transfer this property to them. Or she could look for a partner to come up with the money or something else that she'd want to base the partnership on. So those are the kinds of things that are your opportunity to practice doing those kinds of negotiations and transactions.
But if someone were to purchase, if I were to sell this to someone,
Right.
they would need to provide the entire
3K.
Oh, they would just need to. They would just need to.
Right.
They
did
well.
the
They
two.
would.
Uh,
So because it says you may sell for 65 to 135,000.
right.
So
When a buyer comes
like
up.
a wholesale thing.
Correct.
I'm going to pay the seller $50,000, but I want to assign it. Well, I'm not going to pay it, but.
Right. Well,
50K
is the cost, and you control this deal. Whomever gets it will still need to pay the 3K to actually acquire it, in addition to whatever they agree to pay you. They still have to do the down pay to acquire the car, for it to be on their balance sheet as an asset. So
I see. So they might say, "I'll give you 15,000 for this car."
yeah,
I'll give them
that's
the car. They'll give me the
that's
15,000. I'll give them the
that's
car. Now they have to pay. They have to do the deal now.
correct. You
the
just
essential.
assign the deal to them for that fee. They still have to make the terms of the deal happen. And so that is the way wholesale, operating as a wholesaler, works. Is you acquire control of a deal, and then for a fee you assign that deal to somebody else. That is what wholesalers do.
Do I have any buyers? The offer. So early in the game.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to get any buyers. So
Right.
I'm actually going to go ahead and take it. I'm going to do the deal. I'm going to
Okay.
borrow the 3,000.
Okay.
How do we
So-
keep track of the bank?
So yes, the steps are at the bottom is how much you're borrowing from the bank. So if you're borrowing 3K, that would go in there, and then that creates a expense of 10% or $300. That makes your expenses get bigger by $300. And you're going to do some other stuff. So yes, you could do the subtraction now, but as long as we remember before we're done, you now have 3,000. You acquire the asset for. Again, if you were doing all the numbers, you'd write in add 3,000 and then subtract 3,000 if you like showing all your work or whatever you like doing. You can just say, okay, that's where the 3K is coming from. For real estate, there are two places you record real estate. Up at the top, you would say 3-2 house, or however you'd like to label it under real estate, and put the cash flow that you are getting from that property, and which would flow into passive income. So you'd actually have that much passive income, which makes your total income bigger by that much. And now always this number is your total income minus your total expenses. So it should go down by the difference between 300 and the 100 and whatever that the house pays. And so you can just subtract those numbers and come up with your new payday.
Although, when I paid off this house, now I'm back to the 880. So it almost seems better to just subtract the 100 or the 300 every month.
Well, yes, that's why this got built in, is by making this number. Now, once you do this arithmetic, every payday, it will be a smaller number till you pay off this 3K.
And then I guess you can see. It depends on how you look at it.
Right. So that is
you can either add the 880 and subtract the 300 every paycheck.
Yes, the mechanism of how the accountants do this is what is happening here. This is what your bank expects you to show them, is that it comes in, you've got an expense, and then you get the difference between what's coming in and what's going out. So it should be a smaller number than you were getting before, as your amount that is your new monthly cash flow should be smaller. So once you accomplish that, then the second place you record real estate is as an asset. Again, whatever you called it, 3-2 house or whatever, and you'd record the down pay you paid, the cost that you bought it at, and then continuing out here, you would record the mortgage that's still due on that property, because when you sell the property, you don't get what 110, you get 110 minus the mortgage. And so that's why you record the mortgage, is so that that's available, assuming you pick to ever flip this property.
You have to pay the mortgage in full.
At the point of sale, yes.
It won't be as complicated.
So yes, it just if you sell it, then you are paying off the mortgage.
We're paying interest only until
Effectively, yes, as far as to simplify, to gamify the setup, so you're not playing with keeping track of all of the details of the amortization schedule. No, that's not built into this. So yes, the mortgage stays the same until you either sell it or the game's over. And that is the activity. You can keep the card, part of, again, the vocabulary of the rich part of this is everything you need to know is on your sheet.
Yeah.
So
Since they moved on.
Yep.
Of this home electronics seller. Only you may buy as many shares as you want at this price. Everyone may buy it. Everyone may buy it.
may sell.
So today's price is $40. No dividends. Yield on ROI is 0%. Trading range is 5 to 30%.
Right. So this, you have the opportunity to buy high and sell low if you'd like to. In the advanced version of the game, they add in shorting and options so that you can actually make money on prices being high. But that's not in this one. It's there's a set of cards that are in that range in the deck that are going to come up, and the only way you make money is to have bought it on a low and sell it on a high. So yes, unfortunately, you got the high end of the go around. Yep.
Master of success.
Yeah, I'm like, is that dice waiting?
So you've discovered having a kid. So in your gray box, you get to put a 1 as far as number of kids. You get to take that baby expense and bring it over to the expenses part of, yes, that was the part that you were, I was talking about you writing that in the gray box so that you know what your expenses were if you got a kid. So that becomes your child expense over there. Is whatever that number is, and then that makes your total expenses bigger and your monthly cash flow smaller.
I do a charity. Use 1 or 2 dice for the next 3 turns if you donate 10% of your total income. Now that donation.
So that is a choice you have. Yes, one time you can donate, and for your next 3 turns, the benefit, the karma from doing that donation is that you can pick to roll 1 or 2 dice as part of your next 3 rolls. It's your choice. It's usually beneficial in the idea that it will get you to paycheck sooner. That's the good karma of picking to do it. If you do, you'll be paying whatever 10% of your total income as how much. So you knock the 0 off, and that's how much it will cost you to take advantage of doing a donation. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
So is that a one-time fee?
Yes, you only pay it once. You get 3 turns of benefit.
Okay, I'll pass on that.
Okay. No problem. Yep.
So then I'm also subtracting 160 from here, correct?
No, not.
Nope.
Payday.
Nope. You changed it so every payday you'll get less. So you're not paying that one time out of your cash.
Oh, okay.
It is now coming is now built into your sheet so that every payday will be that much smaller.
So I'm changing these numbers up here as well.
So cash that the income, your monthly cash flow is how much is coming in each payday. So changing that number will change your future amounts of cash, but getting this kid doesn't directly immediately cost you any money. You
So is 160 already included in today's value? Okay. So then now, because every cash flow, you'll have less money. So this value minus this equals this.
Right, but my question was, do I change these numbers here now?
No. Because that's what
yeah, you
started
don't
off.
change your cash.
Okay.
You've changed the monthly cash flow.
Welcome to motherhood.
So,
Okay.
haven't seen much return on any of my children yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
I just keep more and more, oh, I know I want a bigger thing.
Okay, so I landed on the deal, small deal, big deal, small deal. I went for the small deal, and I've got a stock. High inflation leads to poor share price for this home electronics seller. Only you may buy as many shares as you want at this price. Everyone may sell at this price. Today's price, $5. No dividends. ROI is 0%. Trading range is $5 to $30. So it sounds a lot like.
so yes, you have the opposite of his card. You have the ability to buy low and sell high. You'll be waiting for that particular stock to come back at a higher price and sell it to make your capital gains on that. This is an example of the difference between the people on the left side of the rat race, the E's and the S's, versus the B's and I's of the right side of the cash flow quadrant. If you've read any of Robert's books, the cash flow quadrant, but it's the scarcity versus abundance kind of, or poor versus rich. Poor people hear she's the only one that can buy those shares and say, oh, let me see what's on my phone kind of thing, not for me. That is the scarcity view, the poor view of the world. People out here hear, oh, she's the only one that can buy shares. So that means if I want to get shares, I'm going to have to do a deal with her to do it. So they obey the rules and accomplish what they want to do. That is the difference of mindset, of just basic mindset, that this is an opportunity. If you want in, all you have to do is negotiate her buying some shares. And now we do go with the SEC thing of she can't be a broker. So she's actually going to have to buy the shares and hold them. But you can do a contract for proceeds where you say, oh, here's some money, you buy some shares, and when it makes money, here's how we'll split it. Or here's some money up front for you doing that. You can negotiate any way you want, but that's the way that you don't have the SEC coming and arresting both of you for illegal broker activity. So definitely this is an opportunity. If I was playing the game, I would be borrowing money from the bank to buy shares, but I understand what's coming and am mildly aggressive in terms of playing. So that's not a, oh, do this kind of thing, but just trying to get you to understand that this is a good capital making opportunity. You are buying low and selling high. And to let you know, in the advanced version,
I was buying for $40.
So just to compare, so somebody, let's say he got this card after I bought these shares,
then you can be the everyone may sell.
$40.
Yes,
So
you
there's other cards in here that
right are going to say,
now you can sell them, and then I can jump on it when somebody else. Or-
Absolutely. That's
Or-
why we read the cards out loud, because often they affect other players than just the person that's pulled the card. Because, yes, you would be that everyone may sell part of that card. Is almost certainly, and we normally keep these face up because they're considered public knowledge, but whatever way you'd like, around the opportunity. So now you get to pick. That's the difference between this is just something in a book. She's actually got to make a choice about how much of her cash or how much extra borrowed money she's going to go. Well, you had a question?
Can I make her an offer to buy shares?
Absolutely. A willing buyer, willing seller. She can say, no, not interested in that. Well, no, you can offer her money in addition to what you're doing. You get to buy as many shares as you have money. And that money can be borrowed money, that can be her money, that can be wherever, and for every $5 you can purchase a share. So yeah, you can make the 3 deals in addition to your whatever you want to purchase.
I see. And obviously, the limit on what you can borrow from the bank is you still have to have. You can't go negative on cash flow.
The bank will actually let you go negative. Once you go negative, it won't lend you any more money till you get your cash flow back positive. And now every time you go buy a payday, you're going to have to pay the game money instead of the game paying you money. And if you don't have the money to do it, you are now bankrupt. That there are bankruptcy rules, and that's where they get invoked. If you've gone negative and you don't have the cash to pay, you are now into the bankruptcy rules for the game. So yes, you can go negative. You better have a really good plan of how you're going to get out from under that negative, but more than I hope that it'll work out.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna buy 400 shares, which would be $2,000. I'm gonna borrow it from the bank.
Okay. So it goes the same route of making that number bigger by 2K.
5,000.
And now that turns into 500. And if
This is 2,800.
that doesn't change.
That's total income.
That's your yes, that's your income. The total expenses will go up by 200. And then your monthly cash flow goes down by 200.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and always, if you want to check, this should be that minus that in terms of checking that you got the right numbers. So now you've got that capital, you spend it on these shares, and you'd record over here which stock it is and how many shares that bought you.
Now, the money that she borrowed, the 2,000 that she borrowed from the bank, does that carry also interest as well on this?
Absolutely. That's costing her an extra $200 expense until she pays that off. Once she pays that back, that expense goes away. But till then, her payday is $200 smaller by using that borrowed money.
So at this moment, she has 2 bank loans
Correct.
Both paying 10% each.
Correct. She's
But one has cash flow and one has the potential to sell
for capital.
Yeah, I
So
tried to
yes.
sneak in some extra income, but
Uh,
I was like, oh yeah, this doesn't work. Anyway,
so-
would anyone else like to buy? Would anybody like me to buy some shares? Yes, Leslie?
So you have to actually land on the payday spot? Is that the only way you get paid?
No, you land or pass it. So if this one rolls 3, 1, 2, 3, they'll get to take their payday and then deal with the market.
No, because she
So-
landed on the payday earlier.
Initially, that was her first roll was a 6.
Yeah, there's like one
Was,
payday.
yeah.
Correct.
Right there and there. Okay, so Leslie. What kind of software you needed that? Oh, 50 shares, okay? And I'll buy 50 shares for you at $7.
Okay. That'll be
Great. How many shares did you want? 50 shares, yes.
So,
at $7 a share. What do you want?
so $350.
So she has to subtract it from her ledger. as
Correct.
well as-
She subtracts that off of her cash,
And I get to add it to mine.
right? And make a note that you control 50 shares because
350. For you, it's $8. Okay, that's business.
That is business.
Right. So, and definitely one of the things you don't have to add it to here, but if as you get to play this, one of the things you're going to want to do is practice negotiating. So I routinely work to come up with a different offer. So I normally say something like, I'd like to pay $5, but give you 20% of the profit that it makes is the kind of additional offer to practice negotiation, right?
That sounds super fun.
Yes.
I would really like it.
Yep. So very
So
good.
then they have to record their
The
recording
yeah,
their shares.
effectively, yes, you're holding their 250 shares, but they should record that fact because in my deal, it'll matter for percentages kind of things. For them, they just have whatever that makes. So you don't need to make any additional things because you don't get anything later. You got your money up front, which is a good way to do things. Is to get your money up front, which
It's actually the same as that.
Oh, okay.
so this was there's roughly either 4 or 5 ticker symbols. Mighty for You and OK are the most cards that are in there, but
So you're gonna get 200 shares, and that's gonna be 1,400.
so
Nice
you
doing business.
so you get the the $2 a share added to your cash as far as how much on all of these. Yep.
But I just decided that
Yep, that's very good.
they accepted it willingly. So.
Yes. So
Oh, yeah,
yes.
definitely getting us a home.
Yep.
Plus, it'll make my kids do math.
So.
I'll bring food if
Yeah.
I'm
Where do you live? Because we're down in Chandler, and it's.
Oh my God, I'm in Santa.
Oh, you're in Santan? Okay, well, we should exchange numbers. Where are you?
Right.
I'm nowhere near south.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's
South of Tucson? Well,
it's
almost to Tucson?
towards Tucson, past the it's Picacho Beach.
Oh,
That
okay.
sounds familiar.
Yep.
Because I'm over by like Springfield, Santa.
But that means you're only half an hour from us.
Oh
In
yeah.
Chandler.
Am I? It only takes me 40 minutes to get to IKEA.
Oh, it takes
Yeah.
40 minutes to get to IKEA?
Well,
Oh,
when you come up
yeah.
to 10.
Yep.
So if you hit 87, you'll bring us right up to Chandler, which is like 3 or 4 miles east of 87.
Yeah.
How do you guys do it?
So,
Okay.
and yes, and at some point, if you want to schedule something and have me show up, I'd be happy to help teach people. I'm over in the West Valley, but everything happens over here. So every Tuesday and Saturday, I drive over to the Mesa area to do my cash flow stuff, and then in the Chandler area for my complicated games, I do after cash flow. So because I'm a board gamer, card gamer. All right. So your go whenever you're ready.
And we're married. You didn't catch on to that. Maybe caught on to that. We work together. Well, we work at the same place. We've worked together for 25 years.
So first you get to take your cash flow. So you get to whatever your monthly cash flow is, you get to, so whatever's in that middle number, you add to your cash. You don't get your savings again. And then you get to turn over a market card and see if her house sells.
I might take my glasses off. Oh, the market. Okay. Let's see what this does.
House buyer,
Ooh.
3-bedroom, 2-bath. You're offering $65,000 for the 3-2 rental house. Buyer has loan financing. Anyone may sell at this price. If you sell, pay off the related mortgage and get the cash flow you currently receive from that property.
So markets are available to everybody at the table. So if you all had houses, you could pick to sell. They are not a must. You have the choice whether you want to turn your house into extra capital, have a quick flip for the low side of the range, but a quick flip, or do you want to hold it, keep getting the cash flow? It's your choice. What you'll, if you do, you'll take that 65 and subtract the mortgage. That'll be the cash you get on your cash sheet, and you'll lose the cash flow that house is currently generating. But you'll get the 18K of capital from doing the flip.
So if I got this card.
Well, you have that card. Markets are for everybody.
Okay,
So if you want, you can take advantage of that buyer. If you don't want, you don't have to, and you can never sell it, or you could wait for a better buyer. In terms of somewhere in there, there's 90,000 and 110 and 135 in terms of what's available.
We're gonna keep holding.
Okay. So an example of why she might want to do that is if she was bothered being 5K in debt, she could flip the house pay off that 5K, have the $500 of expenses disappear, still have another 13K in her hand on her cash sheet, but she will be giving up the cash flow of the house to accomplish that flip. So there is no right answer. There is what fits the strategy she's following, because the taking advantage of the quick flip is good. Not taking advantage of the quick flip is good. There are that's a piece of this. There's not. Robert makes the point. There are. It's not like school. There is not a right answer to things. There is what fits your strategy, and that she has to generate capital to get out from underneath the borrowed money. So another payday. So you get to take your smaller, because of your kid, your smaller monthly cash flow and add it to your cash. And then that's an opportunity. So you get to pick big or small.
Stop. So it says company reorganizes massive losses due to over expansion and recession. Stockholders lose half of their ownership rights. Everyone who owns MY243 shares owned to half business value. Pay no money or total cost does not change. Still, no dividend. No one may buy or sell at this time.
So it's a reverse split. If you had 20 shares, now you have 10. That's the, so yes, you have to cut your numbers in half of how many you own. So there are there are real world reverse splits that happen out there. Yeah.
A little penny stock, luckily, so it wasn't much.
Okay.
It was a 10 for 1.
Ooh. Ooh. Yep.
It was bad. Supposedly it worked $2 a share after that. And then it went, the other one was like 30 cents.
So
Yeah,
you went past the payday, so you get to add your monthly cash flow to your cash.
Okay, it's a boat.
Yes, monthly cash flow, the number in the middle.
I can see a boat purchase. You bought a yacht.
Yes, see what happens.
Bought a boat in the sun. Buy new bowling ball.
Ooh.
$80.
All right, not quite as big. Not quite as big a deal. All right.
But you know that he probably didn't have the hurricane policy.
Oh, man.
Was he somewhere in the Midwest on a river?
Yeah. So you get your smaller monthly cash flow added to your cash, and then you get your sandpaper to the cheek.